Today is the first Tuesday of the month, and what that means here on RPG Elite is that we're going to do an RPG Elite Philosophy for Life video. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel and you don't even know what this RPG Elite Philosophy thing is, this is a proprietary approach and mindset here only on RPG Elite. And there are 10 qualities of an RPG Elite, and it really spells out an RPG Elite's mindset. Now, I've done an entire series explaining how that applies to tabletop RPGs. However, earlier this year, I decided to flip the script a little bit and see how these very same qualities and principles can apply to life. And so today, I thought that this video was going to be like a one-shot. Like, yeah, this is a one-shot. That is, until I started doing some research and I started writing things down. And then I was like, bruh, this is 3 videos. So today, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to highlight the quality that we're going to be talking about. And then I'm going to highlight the aspects that I'm going to be talking about in relation to this quality and life. And then I'm just going to focus on one for this video today. The number one. I'm going to do this in a particular order also. So that is what you can plan on here today on RPG Elite. So this is what we need to do right now. To start this off, we need to roll that transition. So we are on RPG Elite quality number 7, and that quality is RPG Elites get together to play the game. I know what you're saying. Where in the world can he take this? Yeah, I said the same thing, like I said. But you have to think about it. You have to take some time to actually just let this stuff marinate for a second and work through things, which is the problem with most people today. Most people in society, they do not know how to think. So I agree with Thomas Edison, and I've shown this before. 5% of the people think, 10% think they think, and then the other 85% would rather die than think. Oh, it's work to think. And most people would just be this little superficial stuff because they're chasing the algorithm and all the rest of that stuff. But I am more concerned about actually helping you with this. So how does a quality like this, how can this be applied to life? Well, we're going to be talking about 3 things, 3 aspects of how this quality can be applied to life. And they are, and I'm doing a little bit of alliteration here. They are destination, discipline, and determination. We're going to be covering those, but we're going to be covering those 3 separate videos. So let's get into the first one, destination. Now this RPG Elite quality has an implication baked into it. Intent is baked into it. We're trying to do a particular thing, or we're trying to get to a particular place. When we get together, it is to play the game. So it's not to socialize for the first 2 hours and never get to the game. For some people, it's like, well, it's just to have fun. Having fun is actually playing the game. For an RPG Elite, if we want to socialize, then we'll do something else. But when we are sitting down at the table, we want to play the game, right? So how does this apply to life? What is the intent of your life? Uh-oh.
And here we go.
Do you have intention in your life? Like when you wake up in the morning, what is the intent? Or let me say it like this. What's the destination? See, right here is where a lot of people just lose it. They have no destination in mind whatsoever. They're living meaningless, hopeless, directionless, ambitionless lives. That's how they exist. And it's these same people who always have problems in dealing with life. I was watching this video over the weekend. No lie. And I'm going to try to find it and put it in the link in the description below. And this guy is being interviewed, and he can't keep a job because of anxiety. Or in other words, he can't handle life, so he doesn't go get a job. Because that's really what it is after you watch the video. And it's like, well, why can't you handle life? And I will guarantee you that if you just dig a little bit deeper, I would have liked to have interviewed this guy, because if you dig a little bit deeper, you will probably find this guy has no direction, no ambition, just kind of meandering, flitting from one thing to another, complaining about everything. That's their existence, but going nowhere. You know, like James Brown said, talking loud and ain't saying nothing. These people are the same people who have these, you know, anxiousness, like he says, anxiety, depression, mental trauma, all that stuff. Why? Because that is not the intent of a human life, to live meaningless. And I know people who are like on Twitter or in the space, and, you know, they sit up there and that's what they say. Well, life is meaningless. Okay, why would I want to be around you? For what possible reason would I want to be around you? Even those people who say, well, life is meaningless, if you actually live that out to its logical conclusion, what you're going to do, you're going to end up like Friedrich Nietzsche. You remember that guy, right? Philosopher, German philosopher. He was the guy that coined that God is dead. Yeah, you'll end up like him. Now, what do I mean you'll end up like him? Well, he took that whole philosophy to its logical conclusion. He ended up in an insane asylum. Yeah. And here's the ironic thing. It was his Christian mother that came and took care of him and visited him all the time. Isn't that something? I'm just saying, when you live a directionless, meaningless, ambitionless, hopeless life, that pretty much is the place where you're going to end up. So even if you don't believe in God, it is better to at least have some kind of direction that you are going for your life, for sanity's sake. You need a destination. A destination. Let me explain it to you in the arena of ideas and goals. Ideas and goals are sometimes used synonymously. They're totally different from one another. Totally different. Ideas really operate more in the area of thought, while goals operate in the area of application. Ideas are more like nouns, while goals are more like verbs. And you need to put them together in order to communicate in a cohesive manner through your life, the person that you want to be. You know what's amazing? It's amazing to me that people have goals and destinations for their like imaginary tabletop RPG characters. Oh, they write all this stuff out and they get all of that. They get all up in that. But when it comes to their lives, they totally miss the boat. No destination, like I said, nothing. How does that happen? And this is how tabletop RPG addiction comes about. Because they inherently know that character, since they have a destination, since they have a place that they're going, oh man, it's more interesting to play them. And so that's where they keep gravitating towards. It's sad, really. It's very sad. Well, let's go back to this idea and goals thing. So an idea is really destination, and goals are the steps to get to this destination. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here. Let's say you have an idea of yourself being 25 pounds lighter. Okay, so that's the idea. You want to lose 25 pounds. All right, so now you have the idea. So that's the destination, to be 25 pounds lighter. Now, here's the question. How are you going to get there? What's the plan? What's the steps? In comes goals. Goals are the steps. These are the things that you do to get to that destination. Because listen to me very carefully. An idea that is not joined to goals is just dreaming. That's just wishful thinking. That's all that is. You can sit up there and have ideas galore, but that's all they are, just dreams. That's it. However, when you take an idea and you connect it to a goal, okay, now what you're doing is you are showing that you are taking steps to take that idea from the realm of just the thought to reality. I say all of that to say, when you have no direction and you are living a meaningless life, number one, who wants to be around you? Nobody wants to be around that. Nobody wants to be around that. And number two, is that the place where you want to end up? Really? You want to play that out into its logical conclusion? That's where you want to end up? Of course not. So in the very least, you need to have a destination for your life. And in order to have a destination, you have to sit back for a second, man. Think about this. This is your life. You get together to play a tabletop RPG, you have a destination and goals and all that stuff. But you don't do it for your life? Unwise and foolish. And this generation is going through the harshest of this because of this principle right here. No direction and no goals. Let's talk about goals a little bit more. Let's just talk about that a little bit more. So I've said that goals are the steps that you take in order to fulfill the idea. The idea is the destination. So you have to have an idea of your life, of yourself. What's your idea of you? And it's in a whole bunch of different areas, not just one. I just gave you the weight loss thing as just one thing of your life, but envision yourself and the person that you want to be. How are you going to get there? How are you going to get to that place? What things do you have to do? What goals would you have to fulfill? Goals, a lot of times, are unfulfilled, but there are some things that you can do that will make it at least more likely to fulfill those goals. There was this study that was done at the, Dominican University of California is what it was. Gail Matthews did this study on goals. And what it said was that there were certain things that you do that will make it more likely that you will accomplish your goals. Let me pull up this graphic so you guys can see it. All right, so you have the bar graph here on the far left-hand side. What do we got? We got people who have goals but don't write them down. All right, so we're going to use that as the baseline, right? They have goals but they don't write them down. Well, let's look across the board here. Let's look at some things. Well, just in the next column there, what do we got? We got people who simply wrote them down. And when they wrote them down, they were more likely to actually fulfill those goals. Wow, isn't that something? As a matter of fact, here's a fun fact right here. I'm just going to read it right here. People who very vividly describe their goals are anywhere from 1.2 to 1.4 times more likely to successfully accomplish their goals. This is what this graph, let me pull it back up. This is what this graph actually says right there. And writing things down doesn't just help you remember, it makes your mind more efficient by helping you focus on the things that are important and separate them from the things that are not important. So when you are doing things in your life, you can go back to those goals, you can look at them and go, is this really going towards fulfilling that goal? And if not, maybe I need to do something else. Maybe I can do something else that's more productive. You can be thinking, sometimes we think we're productive when we actually sit back and go, is this actually something that is going to help fulfill this goal, really? Or am I just procrastinating and looking busy? Because that's a popular thing too, right? We do that all of the time. But let's go back to this graph again. So there's a couple other things that we can do, right? To be more successful. Here it is, right here. You can put together daily progress reports. That one is the highest on the far right-hand side. And then you have another one, which is having somebody hold you accountable. Let's say you just did 2 of those. You had someone hold you accountable and you wrote your goals down. You are going to change your life. And you are going to get closer to the idea that you have of yourself if you just do 2 of these. And man, if you do 3 of those, okay, well, it's a wrap. Now, there's things that you can use to help you with your goals and things like that. I particularly used an app called TickTick. And this app is just my to-do list, and I write all this stuff down. Now you have a free version of this, and I did that for, I don't know, I probably did it for a couple of years, and I was like, well, man, it's only 20 something bucks a year or whatever. I'm going to do the whole Monty, and I'm glad that I did. And I have every day the things in which I'm going to do. These are things that I want to do because of my grand goals, to fulfill those for the ultimate idea of my life and also who I am as an individual. So destination and having one, extremely important if you want to have a life that seems like actually a life. Now, what I've really done here is I just really scratched the surface on a destination, right? But just like I said, RPG League quality number 7. We get together to play the game. Why? We have an intent. We have an idea. The idea is to play the game because I have a destination for my character, and the only way I'm going to do that is by playing the game. I have to play the game in order to get to the destination of this character that I've created and poured my blood, sweat, and tears in. Okay, we'll apply that to life. But you're the character. And what things are you doing to reach your destination? The game is life. Okay? But you want to level up your character, which would be, again, you. How are you going to do that? What's the plan? It's amazing to me how people just kind of meander around, no plan, nothing at all, right? No goals. Life just takes them everywhere. They don't have control over their lives. Their lives have control over them. And this is why they never get anywhere. Hamsters in a wheel cage, man. Just getting nowhere fast. Thinking, but busy though. Very busy. It's time to actually sit down, get a destination for your life, and then write that stuff down. In the very least, write it down to get to the place that you want to be. That's part 1. Destination, y'all. Destination. If you got anything out of this video today, then if you could do me a favor and just crush that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to stick around, I come out with videos every Tuesday and Friday, God willing. And I've been consistent on that because of the next one that we're going to cover in the next video next month, in the next aspect. That's why I'm here every Tuesday and Friday. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you want to hang out. Let's get to the question of the vid. The question of the vid is, what is or are, you might have more than one, what is or are your struggles or struggle when putting together a destination for your life? I'm going to be paying very close attention to this because I'm serious about this one. This is a question of the vid that I'm very serious about. So I want you, if you feel comfortable, share. What's your struggle? What's your struggle? There's a lot of things that go into this, man. A lot of things. It's the stuff that I wanted to touch on that I had practiced that I didn't even mention, but I'll mention it probably later on in this series. But I'm really interested. What's the struggles for you? For your destination? Let me know down in the comments. Let's get some engagement going, folks. And that's it for me. So you know what that means. A brother's got to do his snaggle play.
So exit stage left.
Hey, if you've got a game this week, happy gaming. I pray that it is an RPG Elite session where it's more enjoyable, immersive, and meaningful. That's what we talked about today. Meaningful. So until next time, folks, it's your boy, Servant O'Shallow, saying peace. 5,000 leets. I love saying that. I'm outie.